Are you really sure you know the best way to water your garden beds? Do you think it's as simple as just grabbing a watering can and pouring? But what if I told you that most gardeners, without even realizing it, are either drowning their plants or leaving them thirsty, even when watering daily? Today, we're going to create the perfect watering schedule for your entire summer. We'll break down 4 simple yet crucial rules for May, June, July, and August. After this video, you'll understand why your current watering methods might not be ideal and how easily you can fix them. I promise you'll be surprised at how logical it all is. Plants need water, that's a given, but not just any water. They need it at the right time, in the right amount, and most importantly, in the right place. The secret isn't what to water, but how to water. And that how changes drastically from month to month, along with your plant's growth and the weather outside. Forget the one-size-fits-all advice to water generously. It simply doesn't work that way. So let's open our calendar and look at the first, most delicate month of the growing season, May. The motto for this month is caution, and then more caution. Imagine the plants in your garden beds are tiny, vulnerable children, whether it's seedlings you've just transplanted or seeds that have bravely sent up their first shoots. They're still incredibly delicate. Their root systems are very shallow, just beneath the surface, and their stems are thin and fragile like matchsticks. They're only just getting used to their new home, to the open ground. For them, it's a huge stress, much like a first grader on their first day at a new school. Our main goal in May isn't just to water them until they're drowning, but rather to help them establish strong roots. We need to create the most comfortable conditions possible so they can adapt smoothly and start growing vigorously. And watering plays a crucial, yet very delicate role here. And this is where the first and most common mistake lies. We enthusiastically grab a hose, turn on a strong stream, and generously refresh our garden beds. What actually happens? That powerful jet simply knocks the delicate young sprouts flat. It washes away the top, most fertile layer of soil, exposing their defenseless roots. This isn't helping. It's a genuine disaster for a tiny plant. Mistake number 2 is watering with cold water, directly from a well or tap. For a plant that's been warming itself all day under the gentle May sun, an icy shower is a real shock. All growth processes instantly halt. The roots stop absorbing nutrients. The plant goes into a state of shock. Instead of speeding up its development, we actually set it back by several days. So, what's the right way? Forget the hose in May. Your best friend is a regular watering can with a diffuser nozzle. It creates the effect of a soft, warm rain. You shouldn't water the entire bed, but rather directly at the base of each plant. Be targeted. All the water should go precisely to the plant, not to the surrounding weeds. You absolutely must let your water sit. Pour it into a large barrel or another container and let it warm up in the sun throughout the day. Warm, comfortable water is exactly what they need. And don't overwater. The soil should be moist to a depth of 5 to 7 centimetres, about 2 to 3 inches. But it shouldn't turn into a swamp. If you create a bog in your garden bed, the roots will simply suffocate from lack of oxygen and start to rot. The ideal time for watering in May is in the morning. The ground has cooled down slightly overnight, allowing the water to soak in slowly and effectively, with minimal evaporation. Your plants will get a full day's supply of moisture, and if any drops accidentally land on the leaves, the morning sun will quickly dry them. This minimises the risk of fungal diseases, which absolutely thrive in the moisture and coolness of May nights. So remember the May rule. Water carefully with warm water at the base of the plant, and ideally in the morning. Our goal isn't to drown them, but to help them establish strong roots. Think of yourself as a caring nanny for your green little ones. All right, May's busy work is behind us, and our young plants have grown robust. June is here, and it's time for a radical shift in strategy. While in May we played the role of caring nannies, in June we become demanding coaches. This month's motto, make those roots dig deep. June kicks off the most active period of plant growth. Plants are rapidly developing foliage, flowering, and setting their first fruits. They need significantly more water and nutrients than in May. And here's where the temptation arises, simply increasing the frequency and volume of watering. If you watered every 3 days, you might think, now I'll water every day. Seems logical, right? Think again. This is June's biggest mistake, a mistake that will cause you problems down the line. What happens if we keep watering little and often, just moistening the top layer of soil? We're essentially teaching the plant to be lazy. Its roots quickly learn, why bother growing deep? All the water I need is right here at the surface. No effort required. The result is a weak, shallow, lazy root system. Such a plant becomes entirely dependent on you. Miss one watering on a hot day and it will instantly droop. It can't independently draw moisture from deeper soil layers. Unwittingly, you've created a dependent. Our goal for June is precisely the opposite. We need to force, literally compel those roots to grow deep. That's where life-saving moisture resides during dry spells. A robust, deep root system is the key to any plant's health and resilience. How do we achieve this? It's quite simple. We transition to a watering regime of infrequent but very thorough applications. Forget the daily spritz or shower. Now we water once every 5 or 7 or even 10 days, depending on the weather and soil type. But when we do water, we do it thoroughly. Our aim is to soak the soil not just 5 centimetres deep, as we did in May, but a good 15, 20, and for larger plants, even 30 centimetres down. Imagine you're slowly filling a bucket that has holes. You need to pour slowly enough for the water to soak in, rather than just running off the surface. You can water a garden bed in several passes. Apply 1 watering can to a plant, wait 15 minutes for it to absorb, then apply a second. Alternatively, place a hose on the ground and let it run for a while at a thin, slow trickle. How do you check if you've watered enough? Simply grab a trowel or a stick and gently dig into the soil right next to the plant. You should find that it's moist to the depth of a shovel blade. If it's only wet on top, then you've simply wasted your time and water. This stress-inducing regime encourages the topsoil to dry out, compelling the roots in their search for vital moisture to drive downwards. They'll grow, branch out, and truly explore new horizons. We're building a powerful foundation for our future harvest. It's much like in sports. Without resistance, there's no muscle growth. Similarly in gardening, without a little thirst challenge, you won't cultivate strong roots. June's efforts have made our plants strong and resilient. But now, July arrives, the hottest, most grueling month of summer. Blazing sun, scorching air, parched earth. Our strategy changes once again. We're shifting into smart defense mode. July's motto, cunning and precision against the heat. In July, the main battle isn't for growth, but for survival and moisture retention. Evaporation reaches its peak. Water we painstakingly deliver to the roots threatens to evaporate faster than the plant can absorb it. So the crucial questions become not how much, but when and how to water. The most critical mistake in July, unfortunately made by many, is watering during the peak heat of the day. It might seem logical. Plants are hot, they need to be refreshed. But in reality, it's one of the most damaging practices imaginable. Firstly, water droplets on leaves under the scorching sun act like tiny magnifying glasses, like lenses. They focus the sun's rays and cause severe burns. Leaves become covered in unsightly yellow and brown spots. Not only does the plant gain no benefit, but it also suffers serious damage. Secondly, a huge portion of the water simply doesn't reach its target. You pour water onto ground as hot as a frying pan, and it evaporates right before your eyes, creating a cloud of steam. The effectiveness of such watering approaches zero. You waste water, effort, and time, while the roots remain dry. It's like trying to fill a leaky bucket. So what's the best time to water? There are only 2 ideal options, early morning or late evening. Watering early in the morning around 5 to 6 a.m. before the sun reaches its full intensity is an excellent option. The ground has cooled overnight and water will soak in slowly and deeply without losses to evaporation. The plant will receive the necessary moisture supply to comfortably get through the heat of the day. Watering late in the evening after sunset, once the heat has subsided, is also an excellent strategy. However, there's one important nuance. If you water the leaves directly, which is generally not recommended but sometimes happens, they might not dry completely before the night's coolness sets in, and prolonged moisture on leaves, combined with cooler night temperatures, creates an ideal environment for the development of fungal diseases like late blight or powdery mildew. Therefore, evening watering should be strictly directed at the roots. Another crucial technique for July is mulching. It's your main ally in the fight against evaporation. After a thorough watering, be sure to mulch the soil around your plants. Use mowed grass, straw, hay, peat, or compost. A 5 to 7 centimetre layer of mulch acts like a blanket. It prevents the sun from drying out the soil, conserves precious moisture around the roots, suppresses weed growth, and protects the soil from overheating. This is a simple yet incredibly effective way to reduce the frequency of watering and help your plants survive the July heat with minimal losses. And just like that, we're stepping into the final leg of summer, August. The scorching heat of July is behind us. Plants are robust and, most importantly, laden with ripening fruit. One might think they now need maximum water to plump up those large, juicy tomatoes, peppers, and eggplants. And many home gardeners continue to water using their July routine, abundantly and regularly. But this is precisely where the last, most cunning summer trap lies. August's motto, less is more. Sounds paradoxical, doesn't it? How can reducing watering possibly improve your harvest? Yet this is the mark of true gardening expertise. For many crops, August is actually the time to consciously create a slight, controlled moisture deficit. Let's illustrate this with some of the most popular vegetables. Take tomatoes, for instance. If you continue to water them heavily during the ripening period, what happens? The fruits will grow very quickly, becoming enormous but watery and bland. Their flesh will be mealy and the skin thin. Such a tomato easily cracks right on the vine, stores poorly, and is utterly disappointing in flavour. It's simply red water. Now imagine we cut back on watering. The plant instinctively understands. Moisture is scarce, time to focus on perfecting the fruit. Instead of just pumping water into the fruits, it starts concentrating dry matter, sugars, acids, and aromatic compounds. In other words, all the elements that create that unforgettable taste and aroma of a true, homegrown tomato. The fruits become firmer, meatier, and significantly sweeter. Their skin toughens, they stop cracking, and they store wonderfully. By reducing watering, you dramatically improve the quality of your harvest. The same principle applies to peppers and eggplants. A slight water stress makes their flavour more concentrated and intense. What about onions and garlic? For them, ceasing irrigation in August is a vital necessity. They're typically harvested in late July or August. The key is to stop watering completely 2 to 3 weeks before your anticipated harvest. This signals to the bulb, time to prepare for winter. It stops growing and begins to form those crucial, dense, dry outer skins. These are the very skins that will protect it from rotting during storage. If you continue to water onions right up to harvest, they'll go into storage raw and watery, and they'll likely rot in your pantry or cellar within a couple of months. Of course, there are exceptions. Cucumbers, zucchini, and cabbage, for example, are water-loving crops, and for them, watering should continue, especially if August proves dry and hot. However, even then, it should be done moderately, keeping the soil consistently moist, not soggy. So, the August rule of thumb is this. Observe your plants carefully. For tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, melons and watermelons, significantly reduce watering during their ripening phase. For onions and garlic, cease watering 2 times in 3 weeks before harvest. For water-loving crops, maintain moderate, consistent moisture. In essence, we're shifting our focus from quantity to quality. And now, we come to the most crucial point, the game-changing idea that will revolutionize your approach to watering forever. All 4 of these rules, May's gentle touch, June's depth, July's smart timing, and August's moderation serve one fundamental purpose. We're not just giving our plants a drink, we're training them. By watering correctly, we encourage roots to grow deep into the soil. We cultivate strong, independent plants that can survive minor droughts and find moisture on their own. In contrast, shallow, frequent watering creates a dependent plant with lazy, surface-level roots that will perish at the first serious challenge. Quite a paradigm shift, isn't it? You're not just a gardener, you're a coach for your plants. And that reduction in August watering that makes your tomatoes taste better? It's no paradox. It's a masterclass in agricultural technique, now accessible to you. So, let's recap. May. Water gently and directly at the base. June. Water infrequently but deeply. July. Water only in the morning or evening. August. Reduce watering for peak crop quality. 4 simple steps to a thriving garden and an abundant harvest. Thanks for watching this video all the way to the end. If you found this information new and useful, please give us a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more gardening secrets. Now, a question for you. What are your go-to summer watering tricks? Or perhaps you recognised yourself in some of the common mistakes we described. Share your experience in the comments below. Let's discuss.